Featurescript is the native language used to develop all features within Onshape. This is a part studio for a gear train. Each feature executes in order from the top down. As you move down the list, lower features can reference the geometry of a previous one. Right-click on the tab and select Show Code. On the right, the interface displays all of the code required to make all the sketches and features in the gear train. All of Onshape's standard features are contained inside Onshape in a public document named std. You can create your own custom features in a feature studio within a document. Custom features are useful in many ways. You can use them to customize a standard feature UI, automate repetitive tasks, create specialized geometry, or automatically set variables or custom properties in parts. It's important to note that custom features can only be used in part studios and only affects the part studio where it is placed. It cannot do anything outside the part studio it is executed in, such as create new part studios, drawings or assemblies, read company information, or any other company-wide operations. It is a feature, just like any of the standard features. At the top of a feature studio is a toolbar with options specific to the studio. On the far left are undo and redo buttons. They work just like a part studio, assembly, or drawing, meaning they are only active for the current session and independent of other users that may be in the studio. The New Feature button inserts the template for a new feature. To the right of it are pull-down lists for parameters, queries, evaluations, math functions, sketch functions, and operations. Each list contains commonly used functions but is not comprehensive. We will learn more about using each of these types in later videos. Further to the right are the Import and Format buttons. We will learn more about importing in a future video. The Format button formats the code with the proper indentations, so it is helpful to use prior to committing the code. The blue Commit button commits the code and makes it active for use. All changes are always saved in the versions and history graph, similarly to any other tab, but you do not see any changes in the part studios where your custom feature is used until you commit it. The Featurescript editor is based on the ACE editor. Many of the same keyboard shortcuts work, such as toggling comments with Control or Command/ and committing feature studios with Control or Command S. To get more information on a function, mouse over it and the documentation pops up with tips. To see its full definition, hold down Control or Command and select it. The function definition opens in a new tab. This works for standard as well as custom functions you may have defined in another studio. When you add code to the Feature Studio, it recommends functions based on the standard library. You can use the up and down arrows on your keyboard to cycle through suggestions and press Enter to auto-complete the function call. It puts in default values for the parameters that will likely need to be changed. Use Tab to cycle through these parameters. Press Ctrl or Command F to bring up a search. You can search for any keyword in the active studio. Select the plus sign or use Ctrl H to replace keywords with others. You can find and replace one at a time or all at once. Use the magnifying glass in the top right to search all feature studios in the document. On the top left, type in the keyword you wish to search by. You can apply filters for case sensitivity and regular expressions. On the right, you can filter by feature studio name. Click on an individual line to bring up the instance where the result is found. There are many resources to assist you in learning Featurescript. Open the Help menu and select Featurescript documentation. You can also access it directly through the link. The landing page contains a welcome and a quick walkthrough video to get you started. Tutorials contain more in-depth examples. The standard library documentation contains a listing and explanation of every call available. Specifically, in this course, we will focus heavily on the topics under modeling. The standard library source opens the public document that controls all of the standard features in Onshape. The Featurescript guide explains in more detail how to define a custom feature correctly. The language reference section describes the conventions as well as what functions, expressions, and statements are valid within the language. Additionally, the Custom Features page contains many high-quality completed scripts that you can view, use, copy, and modify. It is easy to get started building a custom feature. In a new document, select the plus to insert a new element. Select Create Feature Studio. An empty Feature Studio will always start with an import for the standard library and declare the version of Featurescript being used. Name the Feature Studio Cube. Select New Feature at the top to insert the basic framework for a new feature. A feature is made up of a function declaration, and within it are the precondition and body. Comments are automatically inserted to direct you to the appropriate areas for customization. You can delete them or leave them. The annotation contains the name of the feature. Name it Cube. The constant contains the custom feature's internal name as well as defined areas for the inputs and actions. In the constant, change my feature to Cube as well. The precondition is where all user inputs are defined. Select Inside and select the length parameter from the Feature Parameters pull-down. We will go into more detail on other parameters in a later video. Change my length to side length. Change the definition identifier to side length as well. Move the cursor into the body where you define the feature's actions. Select fcuboid under the Operation Functions menu. This function takes in two inputs for the opposite corners of the cuboid shape. Multiply the vector for corner 2 by definition.side length. Remove the inch units from corner 2 because side length already includes units. Select the Commit button to commit the changes to the custom feature. Go to the Part Studio and notice that the Cube entry is available. It is in the Custom Features in this workspace menu. It puts a cube at the origin with the side length you specify. This basic script identifies the key components required to create a custom feature.